Hey everyone, Jake here for American Trucks, and in this video, we're taking a look at and installing these LED projector headlights with black trim, black housings, and clear lenses, fitting 2014 and 2015 Silverado 1500s that were originally equipped with halogen headlights. Slick, modern looks, and improved lighting output are the name of the game here, so if all that at a good price piques your interest, stay tuned, because you're gonna like what these headlights have to offer. Let's start with the styling because there's quite a few things worth discussing here. First, these do obviously keep the split beam design of your factory headlights with your low beam up top, your high beam down on the bottom, and your amber turn signals out here on the edges. However, the aesthetic similarities pretty much end there. Now, as opposed to the factory chrome, this one is obviously all black. And this is more of a matte black or a shadow black if you want to call it that. So this is going to be perfect if you've got a black grille on your truck or if you're going for that all blacked out look with your build. Everything is going to match. It's going to bring a much more menacing look to the front end. Now the black internal housings also help with that, giving you the stealthy, aggressive type of aesthetic, but with clear lenses over top, lighting output is not compromised in any way. Speaking of lighting output, all of your lights here are going to utilize standard incandescent bulbs. So your main beams up top here are going to utilize projector housings. So these are going to be a bit better than your stock units. They're going to throw a wider light a little bit further on down the road. So these are going to be better than standard halogens. And since they are utilizing standard incandescent bulbs, that means that running costs are going to be low. And if you do need to replace a bulb somewhere on down the line, it's very easy to get them. But of course, these are going to offer a better lighting output. Again, those projectors are going to throw a wider, further beam down the road, and it's nice to have a little bit of improvement just by nature of getting some new lenses over top. Now, there is one other thing here that we haven't yet talked about, and that is the LEDs on the top and bottom that are going to function as your daytime running lights. These light up a nice diffused white, and the angular look here I think really plays well with the square-jawed appearance of these early K2XX trucks, and it helps modernize the front end a bit as well. Now the outer housings here are your standard polypropylene with polycarbonate lenses over top. Everything is of course weather sealed to keep moisture and dirt from getting into the electronics inside, and these are also DOT and SAE approved, meaning that not only are they fully street legal, but they've also got integrated adjusters here on the back to help you get everything aimed properly. Pricing is going to come in at about $425, which puts them in about the middle of the range for this gen of Silverado. It's not the most expensive set you can get by a long shot, but they are going to have some nice upgraded lighting elements like those projectors and improved aesthetics too. So if you want a little bit more output, a cooler style, and you don't want to pay a fortune, these are going to do the job nicely. Installation is going to get a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 2 hours to complete. Now, a bit of wiring is required to get the daytime running lights functioning properly, but it's nothing too involved, and everything you need to get it done is included right here in the kit. So this is definitely a job you can accomplish at home. With that, let's head out to the shop, and we can walk you through the process step by step.
Tools required for this install include a ratchet, clip remover tool, Phillips head screwdriver, 10mm ratcheting wrench, wire strippers and crimpers, scissors or diagonal cutters, an extension, 10mm socket, some zip ties, and a T-tap and a male spade.
What's up guys? Today we're installing a set of headlights on our Silverado. First we're going to watch a quick uninstall video showing you how to remove your factory headlights, and then we'll meet you right back here for the install.
All right, first step here, we have to uninstall our factory headlights. To do that, pop your hood. We're going to remove the radiator shroud. Now there's a bunch of these plastic black push pin clips here. What you're gonna do is take a panel removal tool. I'm gonna start with this guy here. You're just gonna pry up on the middle section. Once that's up, you don't necessarily need to take it off in 2 pieces, but once that's up, you can pull it off all together just like that. Do that for each one along the entire shroud. Now that all those clips are off, let's just lift up on the shroud and set it aside. Next up, we have to head over to the wheel well to remove this one Phillips head screw. Now the reason we're doing that is because this entire trim piece that goes along all underneath the headlights and grille has to come off. So grab a Phillips head, we're just gonna take this one screw off in each wheel well. So once you have one taken care of, repeat on the other side. And once that's off, you can start cracking that guy loose. All right, next step here, just pull that trim piece all the way off and set it aside. All right, next up, let's get our grill out of the way. Now there's 4 10mm bolts at the top, so I'm switching over to an impact gun and a deep socket, so let's get those off. All right, now on the bottom left and bottom right corners, you're gonna find another 10mm. For the grill, I'm switching over to an extension on my 10mm. All right, same thing on the other side. All right, so now we can just pull the grill off in one piece. All right, next step, let's unbolt our headlight. Now I'm working on our passenger side here. There's 2 10mm bolts up top we're gonna start with. All right, next up, behind where our grill was here, there's one more bolt at the bottom down there. All right, we have one more down here in the corner, right behind where the trim was underneath the headlight. I'm gonna use a 10mm ratcheting wrench for this guy just because it's at a tough angle. All right, so now we can just pull that straight back. And you just pinch and disconnect the harness. Just like that, set your factory light aside.
Now before we install our new headlights, we're gonna have to get our wire harness situated. We have one wire that's gonna go to a positive wire that we're gonna splice into off of our daytime running light harness. And then we have 2 connectors that'll plug into the back of our headlights. So now the way I'm gonna be wiring this up is by using a T-tap and a male spade connector. Now the T-tap has a metal portion that's going to cut into the wire. Once you close this up, this is gonna go on the body harness side. And then I'm gonna crimp this male spade connector to our wire. This is gonna slide into our T-tap just like that to make our connection. So we've already got some wire stripped back. So we're just gonna twist up that lead and slide our male spade on top of it and then crimp that down. And then now we can get this installed onto the truck. So now we can install our T-tap. Now what you're gonna wanna do is turn on the daytime running lights inside the truck, and then you can probe all of these connectors to find which one's your DRO. So I've got a test light. I've got the negative side hooked up to the negative battery terminal, and then we can just poke in here. And then right there we have our test light up. That's going to be this gray wire back here that we already have a T-tap on. Now if you're doing this for the first time, you're going to take the metal part, you're going to put the wire around that, and then you can close this up and pinch it with a pair of pliers to lock it in place, and that's going to cut through the wire there. Now since we already have one installed, I'm going to take our male spade that we crimped onto our wire and plug that into the blue T-tap that we already had on there. And then halfway through our harness, we have our first connector. That's gonna stay on the passenger side here. So I'm just gonna bunch up all of this excess, and then we can zip tie it so that it's not all over the place. Then you can take a pair of scissors or diagonal cutters and cut off the excess of that zip tie. Tuck that away, and then we can run the remainder of our harness over to the driver's side. And then I'm just gonna follow this wire harness that goes across the top of our radiator. I'm just gonna run it across for now, and then I'll go back and zip tie everything down. Now once we get to the other side, we have a little triangle right here that we can drop this down through, and then an oval hole that we can pull it through. And then that'll drop into our headlight bucket nicely, and we can go back and zip tie everything up. So now I'm gonna get a couple zip ties on each side just to wrap this up to our harness, keep it all out of the way. Then you can take your scissors or diagonal cutters and cut off the excess. So now we're ready to install our new headlight. We're just gonna plug in our one main connector as well as our bullet connector, and then we can slide this into place. And now we'll just tuck all of our wires, slide this in. So now we can reinstall our 2 bolts up top and the one in the front. And then we'll just adjust this into place and take our 10mm socket to tighten them all down. Now we can come to the side of our headlight and reinstall our final bolt. And then we'll take a 10mm ratcheting wrench to tighten this down. And then you can repeat that same process on the other side. Next, we can line up and reinstall our grill. Next, we can reinstall the 4 bolts at the top of our grill and get our radiator cover back in place. Now we'll take our 10mm socket and tighten all of these down. And now we'll drop our radiator cover on. We have these 2 little clips that are going to go in these 2 slots, so we'll get those in first. And then lay it down and reinstall all of our push clips. Next, we can reinstall our lower grill bolts. Now, everywhere that we have one of these rectangular cutouts, there's a U-clip deep in there. It's gonna be pretty hard to see on camera. So I've got an extension with a 10mm socket with my bolt to get these started, and then I'll throw my ratchet on the other side to tighten them down. And then you can do that same thing with the 2 on the other side. Now we can reinstall our lower trim. Now, the last thing we need to do is come to our wheel well. We have a couple screws that are holding in our lower trim on each side. Now, ours are missing, so we don't have anything to put in these holes, but you would just follow the steps from the uninstall for reinstalling your screws.
That's going to wrap it up here for our review and install of the LED projector headlights with black trim, black housings, and clear lenses, fitting 2014 and 2015 Silverado 1500s with factory halogen headlights. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, for all things Silverado, be sure to keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.